My parents were divorced at a young age, and that had an effect on me. I think that's where the abandonment started. It led into a lot of anger and resentment. Probably about the age of 15 was the first time that I started experimenting with alcohol. Kind of got bored with the alcohol, really wasn't doing what I needed to get from it anymore. Then at that point turned on to narcotics. That was a feeling basically at that point that I fell in love with. I believe it hit a lot of my feelings that I was feeling, the anger, the resentment, the abandonment. I felt a part of something. Around 17, I had overdosed from cocaine and mixing heroin together. Ended up in the emergency room. They said I had died for at least a minute. Was pretty much on the gurney and dead. Was brought back to life. They had talked me into going to detox at the hospital for 30 days, and then they sent me on to rehab. And most people probably would have been scared at that point and done with it. I was not. I came right out of rehab and went back to that lifestyle because I was just feeling a lot of things that I didn't want to feel. The drugs and alcohol gave me a lot of false confidence. So that's how it continued through most of my early teen years. I was doing anything and everything to get what I needed. I ended up getting arrested because I was dealing and someone tried to rip me off, and I seriously injured them and was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So now I'm sitting in this prison and they're telling me, well, you're facing 7.5 to 15 years. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, man, I got a lot of time I'm looking at, and I'm starting to go through this withdrawal because I don't have the drugs, I don't have anything, and my mind's just whirling. And I'm like, well, that's it. I can't do this time. I can't feel this pain. I don't want to feel these feelings. So I'm like, I'm going to commit suicide. You know, I'm going to jump off the tier in this prison and end my life. My cellmate, who was actually a Christian, said to me, well, you know, before you do that, let me talk to you. And I'm thinking, well, here's these Bible-thumping Christians that I cannot stand. But, all right. So I sit there and this guy starts talking to me about Jesus and what he's did in his life and everything else. Now I'm thinking, this guy's a hypocrite. You're in jail and now you're talking about Jesus. But the important thing was once, it wasn't him, it was his words. Once he was talking, I started to feel this warmth come about me, like these strong arms around me. I felt this comfort that I've never felt in my life. And I'm like, well, I'm not high, I'm not drunk, I'm completely sober, but yet I'm feeling this warmth and these arms around me, and I just can't believe this feeling. And the more he talked and the more he talked, I just broke. And I'm like, you know, when you're on the street, you can't show weakness, you can't show any emotion, you have to be tough constantly. And that's what I was used to, but yet, even though I had that way about me, I just broke. I just started really just breaking down and crying in jail about this, because I was just feeling things I never felt before. And that was probably the first changing point in my life. And I mean, I like to sit here and say that everything was good after that. You know, it was all kittens and puppies and everything, but it wasn't. But I think that was the first time that God really put his hand on my life and really showed me love that I never felt. And it also showed me that all these times I should have been dead, I wasn't, because he had a plan for my life. So I did my time in jail and I got out, and you know, I was kind of on the straight and narrow for a while, doing the parole thing, and slowly windowed my way back into it. And it wasn't as bad as before. I wasn't really doing the illegal things, but whatever money I was making, to be honest, I was pretty much either shooting in my arm or putting up my nose. I'm in my 40s and I still haven't learned to grow up. I still haven't beat this addiction. And what you have to pay attention to is I just said, I have to beat this addiction. I can't beat it. So in September, I tried to commit suicide again with pills and alcohol, ended up in the hospital. And I just had enough. I came home from the hospital and got reconnected in the church, started going for some counseling and meetings to get help for it, which helped, but I really had to come to a point of surrender where I said, you know what, God, I can't do this anymore. I can't beat it. Addiction has a very strong hold, and it's something that's hard to beat by yourself. You cannot do it. You have to surrender. You know, I had to learn to actually lay it at his feet and say, you know what, I need you to take this from me. And the more that I surrender to him and give it to him and walk away, the more my life slowly being restored.